Whoa! Hey guys, and this is Rich View, and we are on another episode of Richie Talk. Have you ever thought about starting a new project or pursuing a new goal, but put it off because you thought the timing wasn't right? If you've ever been in this situation, then this video is for you. Don't skip, stay glued. Alright, today I'll be talking about right timing. Most times, many people postpone or have this phobia or fear of starting a particular venture where, due to the fear of failure, always having a busy schedule, or not giving it a trial, they always think the time is not right for me to start this, the time is not perfect for you to make this decision. Sometimes you just have to start. Sometimes you don't need to wait for the perfect time for everything to be set in place. Sometimes you need to grow into whatever you might be entering into. You need to allow yourself to grow in it rather than waiting for the perfect time to start. There will never be a perfect time if you keep waiting for it. The perfect time to start is now. There is actually never a right time to start though. Like, if you want to start anything, don't overthink it. Just start. Because the time you keep waiting for the right moment, the perfect time to begin whatever venture or adventure or business or whatever it is in life, once you keep waiting for the right time, it's never going to come. Because when you get to one certain perfect moment, you start feeling it's not good enough, it's not perfect enough. Let's wait until this certain thing is available. Let's wait for the next step to be available. I'll use myself for example. I am a photographer, a portrait, a wedding and event photographer. Starting my career as a photographer wasn't really all rosy. Starting from the scratch, having nothing, from equipment to the knowledge, because you first have to acquire the knowledge before you start acquiring the equipment. The equipment are really expensive, like really expensive. When I was going out of my way to say, okay, this is what I want to do, I have passion for it, I know I love what I do, but can I afford it? That was one of the hindrance or the talks that were going on in my head before I started. This is expensive, can you afford it? Only this is this amount, only that is that amount. How are you now going to meet up when you don't even have the capital? But then we started without nothing, when I mean nothing, but with proper planning and without waiting for, okay, until I have this before I will start, until I have this before I will start. I started with renting of equipment. Like, I rented everything I started with. I was paying equivalent to the job I was going to do to rent equipment, because I knew the standard I wanted to set, but I didn't have the equipment that could meet up that standard. So all I did was, okay, just to have customer base or to have a base of customers, regardless of the fact that I have no equipment, I'll go out, I'll rent all the equipment that I'll be using for that shoot. The equipment that I'll be renting may cost equal with what I'll be charging the clients that I'll be working for. But then I was gaining customer base, having nothing. Then there were days that over time you don't rent, even no matter how you rent, person wey you dey rent from go pity you once now. So you can't over rent. At least e go dey give you some kind small discount. So from those discounts, I was able to get something that I could save. And over time, each job that comes, I get something from it. Like, I get an equipment, no matter how small, it's something. Over time, it will become one of your equipment. It's not a waste. When investing in your business, never see it as a waste. So over time, I got used to acquiring more equipment until where we are today. And I would tell you, the best thing that ever happened to me was not waiting to start. It was actually just starting. And I would advise and recommend you do same, because if you keep waiting, oga, especially in this Nigeria, you go wait, sha, oh, you go wait, because every day new things dey start. Like, the longer you take while waiting to start, know that there's somebody that has started whatever you are planning, and that person, if they are talking about people that have more experience in that venture because they started before you, they have more experience and they would have made more clients, which you could have made if you had started earlier. So never put off the urge to start. Never allow the fear of failure to hinder you from starting. Don't get me wrong about the starting aspect, because there's no starting without planning. I am not saying you should start without having a plan on how to go about starting, but all I'm saying is don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for every scenario to be perfect before you make the big move. You waiting for certain things, the limitations during your process of growth might be your strength when you are finally grown, because you starting from the scratch, or you starting and observing all the processes that you will go through or you will pass through will help you to understand how to solve problems, or it will give you ideas on solutions to problems when you have already gotten to the matured state. So don't always expect to start on a very high note. Don't always expect to be at the top from the beginning. There's something about growth. Growth gives you the chance to experience all the challenges of each stage in that particular venture, all the challenges that you're going to face, how to solve each problem, and by that it gives you experience over time. So I will always advise anyone that is starting up anything, whether a career, a business, even if it's just as little as something homely, like something that you want to be doing at home, don't wait for a perfect time. Go out there, start, make the big move, and see where it leads you. But don't get me wrong, as I said earlier, always plan. The planning is what helps each stage to be better. And remember, after starting, always plan not to remain at that stage. Always give room for progress. Always be open to learn. Always be open to take steps that are better than the step you are taking today. Yesterday should never be better than your today. Your today should always be better than your yesterday, and your today should show what your tomorrow would look like. So for today's talk, I will just wrap it up with this. If you check out over time in history, the biggest innovation, the greatest innovations that were ever made were made out of starting and not waiting. So you keep waiting, me, I'm starting. You too can do same. You too can start now. You too can make a change. You too can make growth possible. Thank you, and see you in my next video.